macro range, which is from December through to now in May, is at 56. Now, this smaller overbalance in price is running up to about 52. So that's 100%. 150% is going to take us out to around 57. So the two next levels I'm looking at is first the double top at 48, then around 51 to 52%. So that would just bring us slightly short, which would mean Bitcoin is weaker and the alts are going to run a little further. Otherwise, we got this 50% hit, and then that means that it's an extension of this first range, which means we'll probably see a third. I don't know where this will pull back to. This is just a guess. But if we get an extension in the second run, then we generally see a third run, which is usually equal to this, maybe a bit shorter, but it's generally not the same length as the second wave, or the second section as Gann called it. So that's why I've got those measures of around 48 first, then around 52, then around 56. So I'm going to leave these in here. We'll keep coming back to them. I'll leave that as our first one. But that's the major premise of what I think's potentially going to happen next in terms of the alts against Bitcoin. That's why I have been consolidating, as I've said from the top, that 18th of April when the first crash happened. The first crash, remember that. That's why I've been consolidating into major projects and Bitcoin. Okay, so, and then buying Bitcoin on the low. I like fresh money into Bitcoin at this time. Matic, here we go, looking at these reasons. So Matic has had a bounce. I am happy just to sit out of this bounce. That's fine. If you guys made some money, fantastic. Let me know in the comments down below. I am reading your comments, and you guys are doing very well. The ones who are making, understanding charts, piecing the news, the fundamentals, the charts together, congratulations. You're getting it, and this might be your time. You know, this is your bull market to learn more about investing and to make some good money. Yeah, leave your comments down below. It's good to hear, good to see. It makes all of this really worthwhile. So, Matic, big volume, big push up. The close is up here. It's looking okay. I am not convinced on these moves just yet because we have had the biggest correction that we've seen, and this applies to a lot of the major cryptos. I would want to see a consolidation here, maybe some bouncing out, and then that brings us a stronger structure. The main thing I want to look at is, this is Matic Bitcoin. So that's what I want to see for the strength in it. That's why I'm looking at these potentially drifting again, but we're not there yet. This is just day-by-day stuff. This is not long-term look at the markets. So take that into account. It's a big drop down at the moment. Let's keep tracking this one. In terms of USD, it's had a good bounce out again. Hasn't reached that high. It's in this zone, so that's okay. Not bad. I think these were good buys, but in terms of long-term for Matic, possibly a drift back just to get some movement again, to get a structure forming. So we'll keep looking at it, as I've said many, many times. Very good volume on that. That's on yesterday, but also very good volume on that bounce as well. Looking at Cardano, again, it's sort of similar, but we're in that zone again. So we've managed to escape this area in the middle, and we're just creeping our way back above the $1.50 levels and continuing to consolidate at that level. So this was a quick blow off back down, back at these levels. So overall, the trend is still up. We did not get a break of the low. That's a very good sign. Cardano BTC, it is having a little bit of a pullback here. Now I've got the color on the chart. Let's go back to our bars. BTC is looking good as well. It bounced on those highs. That's a good sign. So I'm happy with Cardano. ETH is bouncing again on its old highs. This is on a weekly chart, so it is a longer time frame. Remember, we see volume into that low. Could have bought ETH at 1700, but it was a very scary time. Remember that every time you see big corrections in a bull market as well. In a bear, slightly different, but even so, the pricing is not too bad when we see these bounces down into 300s. You just have to hold for a lot longer, but they're still reasonable prices long term. That's it's the positive in the negative there. ETH is looking pretty good. I suspect it's going to get some more accumulation between these levels, which is why I've got an alert set at around 3,000. If it was to break, then we start to stair step further up as we continue to consolidate. But yeah, I think these levels are in now. Good volume on that low there. ETH BTC, it has moved up again. Maybe consolidation up here. Again, day by day. Let's put it onto a daily chart. Big volume at the low. another reversal. It's not completely sold for me just yet. And maybe we get a little pullback, push up. We'll keep following it again. It's early days with a lot of these. That's why I'm bringing it as a warning to crypto investors, just to not get ahead of ourselves just yet. You know, everyone's sort of calling for the start of another bull market. The lows look pretty good so far, but if you're expecting big gains and just to take off, I think the probability is slightly lower on that. But V-shaped recoveries aren't unheard of, like we saw last year with the COVID crash with the stock markets. What I'm saying here, the warning is, let's not get overexcited and just sort of pile all in to expect all-time highs tomorrow. That's the feeling I got from the news earlier on. VET, I'm bringing this up because you guys often ask for VET. VET has had a much harder battle from these highs. So these highs were at 28 cents and it plummeted all the way to 5 cents. So it did probably take off a lot harder. It had a lot more retail in the space, but now that low looks pretty decent because sort of sitting around those old highs. So this was the breakout after the breakout before the final leg into the top. So that's come back as support now, big volume. Waiting on this one. It's not out of the woodworks yet. It had a pretty decent move up since the low, but this is against the Bitcoin value. So I'm not entirely sold on these at the moment. I want to see some more structure. And finally, a look at Sol. It is trading okay. It's at 28. It's not that far from its low, but on Sol BTC, again, same sort of deal. It is trading just above its 50% of its major range. The downside is, we're still looking at 50 or so percent, but at least with